this is not the first time that we've had a dramatic megacity announcement from Saudi Arabia and this acknowledgement, attempt at economic reform and changing the views of the country and the perception outside of Saudi Arabia. Why is this different, and how will this fit if you're talking about having different treatment even for women within this economic zone or city relative to the rest of Saudi?
Well, I think that is the big question. What is different this time? And that's where there are a lot of question marks around this project. Of course, there was a lot of glitz, a lot of glamour, a lot of pizzazz around this. But if you look at the ambitious plans that the Crown Prince has laid out over the last 2 years, none of them really have still come to fruition yet. The IPO of Saudi Aramco, there's little question marks about that. They were out again today in force, assuring the financial world that it will actually happen next year. But as you say, this has been tried and failed in the past. But I guess, on the plus side, he is the rising power in Saudi Arabia. He's only 32. You have to assume that he's going to be around for a long time to come, despite the stories you hear about, rival factions within the palace. So I guess what's changed this time is that he has put his personal reputation on the line for this, and he's got a lot of money.
And a lot of time.
And a lot of time.
All right, let's talk about this city specifically. First of all, it's called NEOM, so I'm going to want to ask you why it's called that. They're spending $500 billion to build it. What is the point of it? What do they hope it accomplishes in terms of the kingdom's long-term economic goals?
So I'm glad you asked me that about the name. So NEOM
sounds very sci-fi.
Yes, it is. Well, neo obviously is the first part of it comes from the Latin word for new, and M at the end is the first letter of the Arabic word for the future. So there you go.
It is very sci-fi.
Exactly, very sci-fi. But the idea is essentially you create Dubai, another version of Dubai, on the Red Sea, and they have these huge, incredible plans to build, for example, a bridge across the Red Sea into Africa. So essentially, a lot of it is an attempt to recreate the huge success of
We're watching an ad. I just want to point out, this is an ad that they made for the city. It looks like a Microsoft ad or an IBM ad. It looks like something you
robots.
Yeah, it's like the future. Yes. You could just imagine the it sort of tells you all you need to know in a way what they're going for.
Eyes on the future. But this is quite fascinating, as you said. It's going to scale Egypt, Jordan, as well as Saudi Arabia if their plans actually do come off.
It's huge, yeah. I mean, it's a city. The core of it will be the size of Manhattan. But I think again, we're right to be skeptical. These things haven't tried in the past. But again, on the plus side, people would have said the same thing about Dubai 40, 50 years ago. And look at the huge success story that was. And global trade is changing. It'll be very interesting to see how much investment, how much interest they get from China, especially in a world where the US is retrenching. You're going to see the Saudis reaching out, especially to the east on this project.